Have you ever found yourself questioning the friendship between men and women? Is he just a friend, or is there something more behind the smiles and conversations? Often, friendships between men and women can be confusing, filled with subtle signs that leave doubts and uncertainties. In this video, we'll dive into a unique story about friendship, connection, and the challenges of understanding behavior between genders. Emma had always considered Jake one of her closest friends. They shared common interests, enjoyed similar movies, and often found themselves laughing at the same jokes. Their friendship was comfortable, and Emma never thought of Jake in any way other than as a friend. However, everything began to feel different one evening at a mutual friend's party. The atmosphere was lively, with laughter and music filling the air, but Emma couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Every time she looked at Jake, he seemed to be acting differently. He was chatting animatedly with a group of girls, laughing louder than usual, and taking the spotlight in a way that was unusual for him. Emma had known Jake for years, and he was never the type to seek attention in a crowd. As the night went on, Emma started to feel more and more uncomfortable. She couldn't figure out why Jake's behavior was bothering her so much. Was he trying to impress someone? Was there something more to his actions that she hadn't noticed before? Emma began questioning everything she knew about their friendship. As the party started winding down, they made their way to the door together, but Emma couldn't shake the feeling that something had changed. She kept replaying the night in her head, trying to make sense of what had happened. Jake, usually so easygoing and relaxed, had acted differently, and Emma wasn't sure how to interpret it. Walking home, Emma realized that she was confused. Was this just a normal party dynamic, or was there something more to Jake's behavior that she was missing? She couldn't deny that her perspective on their friendship had started to shift, and she didn't know if it was for the better or the worse. Over the next few days, Emma couldn't stop thinking about what had happened at the party. She found herself analyzing every detail, trying to understand Jake's behavior. Was she imagining things? Had she misunderstood the situation? She had always believed that their friendship was simple and uncomplicated, but now it seemed as though she was seeing things in a new light. Emma started to wonder if maybe Jake's behavior wasn't as innocent as she had always assumed. She began noticing small things that made her question their friendship. When they would hang out, he would sometimes seem distracted, almost as if he was trying to impress others around him. And when they were alone, there was a noticeable shift in how he spoke to her. He would joke more, tease her in a way that felt almost flirtatious, though she couldn't be sure. Emma didn't want to jump to conclusions, but the more she thought about it, the more confused she became. She had always trusted Jake, and their friendship had always felt effortless, but now she wasn't so sure. Was there something more happening beneath the surface? Was Jake interested in her in a way that went beyond friendship? Every time they saw each other, Emma felt a little more uncertain. She couldn't decide if she should confront him about her feelings or just let things play out. The confusion continued to grow, and Emma realized she was spending more time questioning Jake's intentions than enjoying their friendship like she used to. As the days passed, Emma started to distance herself a little, unsure of what to expect next. She knew something had changed, but she didn't know if she was ready to face it or if she could handle the answer. After weeks of feeling conflicted, Emma could no longer ignore the growing tension between her and Jake. The uncertainty was becoming unbearable. Every time they were together, she felt like there was something unspoken in the air, something that neither of them was addressing. She knew that if they continued down this path, it would either end in an awkward silence or in a confrontation that could change everything. One evening, Emma decided that she had to talk to Jake. She couldn't keep second-guessing his intentions and wondering if their friendship was about to shift into something else. The more she thought about it, the more she realized that she needed clarity, whether it was good or bad. When they met up at a local cafe later that week, Emma felt a tight knot in her stomach. She had rehearsed what she was going to say in her mind, but now that she was face to face with Jake, the words felt hard to find. But she knew she had to speak up. As they sat down with their drinks, Emma took a deep breath and decided to be honest. She told Jake how she had been feeling, how his behavior at the party had left her confused, how she had noticed changes in the way he acted around her, and how it had made her question the nature of their friendship. Jake listened quietly, his expression unreadable. Emma wasn't sure if he understood or if he had been aware of the tension. For a long time, there was silence between them, and Emma could feel her heart pounding in her chest. What if Jake didn't feel the same way? What if this was the end of their friendship? Finally, Jake spoke, and Emma held her breath, waiting for his response. He explained that he had never meant to make her uncomfortable. He had been acting the way he did at the party because he was simply having fun, enjoying the atmosphere, and maybe even showing off a little. He admitted that he had noticed the shift between them, but he didn't think it was anything more than a misunderstanding. He reassured Emma that their friendship was important to him and that he valued it deeply. While he couldn't deny that he enjoyed spending time with her, he didn't want to risk ruining what they had by complicating things. Emma felt a wave of relief wash over her. It wasn't exactly the answer she had hoped for, but it was the honesty she needed. She realized that sometimes feelings of confusion arise in friendships, but that doesn't mean they have to end in disappointment or heartbreak. The conversation brought a sense of clarity, and Emma felt like she could finally breathe again. She understood now that Jake valued their friendship just as much as she did, and that was enough for her. She wasn't sure if things would ever be exactly the same, but she was willing to accept that as long as their bond remained intact. She had feared that confronting Jake would shatter their friendship, but instead it had brought them closer in a way she hadn't expected. After their conversation, Emma felt a strange sense of peace. The weight that had been hanging over her for weeks was finally lifted. Over the next few weeks, things slowly started to return to normal between them. Emma noticed that the awkwardness was gone, and their conversations felt as easy and natural as they always had. They laughed together, shared stories, and supported each other just like before. But something had changed. There was a new sense of understanding between them. Emma realized that sometimes the boundaries in friendships can be blurred, especially when feelings start to evolve. However, she also understood that it wasn't necessary to force a relationship to grow into something more than it was meant to be. Jake and Emma continued to spend time together, enjoying each other's company without the pressure of unspoken feelings. They had both learned something valuable: the importance of clear communication and respecting the boundaries of friendship. Emma knew that not all friendships between men and women had to become complicated or romantic. Sometimes the strongest relationships were the ones that stayed grounded in mutual respect and understanding. As Emma reflected on everything that had happened, she felt grateful for the clarity she had gained. She realized that friendships, no matter how complicated they seemed at times, could endure if both people were willing to listen, communicate, and understand each other. In the end, Emma and Jake's friendship remained as strong as ever, and they both grew to appreciate the value of the connection they shared. The tension had faded, and with it, Emma's uncertainty. They were friends, nothing more, nothing less, and that was more than enough for her. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. See you in the next video.